The University of Michigan was honored last fall when the MacArthur Foundation named not one, but 3 researchers to its prestigious list of 22 MacArthur Fellows. Also known as the Genius Grant, this fellowship bestows $500,000 in no-strings-attached support over the next 5 years. The Alumni Association is proud to introduce these geniuses on campus.
The name of the Genius Grant, to refer to MacArthur Grant, is really funny to me because, of course, I never regarded myself as a genius.
The fact that the MacArthur Fellowship is referred to as a Genius Grant makes me feel quite intimidated. I am not a genius, although I work with a lot of geniuses, and I think sometimes that label makes people feel like they're in some kind of intellectual box, which I do not want to be in.
So when I got the call, I was actually in my office and I was on my way to catch a taxi to the airport to leave for a trip to Scotland. So I was sort of, I'm always very disorganized when I'm about to leave, and so I was rushing around everywhere, and someone kept calling me on my cell phone, and it was a number I didn't recognize, and so I didn't answer it a couple times. And finally I thought, oh, this person really must want to get in touch with me, so I finally answered it. I was on my way out the door into the rain, and they said, are you alone? And I said, who is this person calling and asking me if I'm alone? This is really weird. And they said, well, we really need to call you back when you're sitting down and you're calmer, and when you're alone. And I was like, okay. And they said, we're calling from the MacArthur Foundation. And sort of my heart stopped.
And then they told me that I got the MacArthur Award. But of course, it's hard, quite impossible to believe. And they told me not to tell anybody except for my husband. So that's why I just called my husband as soon as I hung up with them. And of course, what he told me was, if somebody calls me for the second time asking a bank account and a PIN number, don't give them away.
When I got the call at home, I was completely shocked. I mean, floored. The person who called me, the director of the fellowship program at the MacArthur Foundation, asked me if I was sitting down, and I thought, oh my God. And I sat down, and he told me that I'd won the award. It was completely and totally stunning, and I had to tell my husband because he heard me scream.
Okay, so one fun thing about me is that I was a gymnast for almost my whole life since I was 5. I did gymnastics in college. I competed competitively. Even more fun about that is that I wasn't very good. I mean, I was okay, but I wasn't very good. And so sometimes when I would practice uneven bars, I would have to wear knee pads and ankle pads and a helmet, because I would always hit my head and my ankles and my knees when I was doing various tricks. So it was a pink helmet, bright pink helmet. So
I love Harry Potter. So of course Harry Potter is totally fiction, but inside it all makes sense. But when you are talking about the whole story, how you make the story very, very interesting is the same way in writing fiction as well as doing real science. So how you illuminate this consistency of the world. So I think that's probably why I like it so much.
I'm not very fun. I just work constantly. My husband and I got married in Glacier Park, Montana. He's from Montana, and we decided to have the event there. And we go back as often as we can and hike in the mountains. But for me, the mountains have taken on a different kind of significance. Just being there, seeing them, leads me to think about the different planes of existence, that there are always things happening, kind of functioning, unfolding at multiple levels at the same time. And I love being reminded of that.